Well past noon, Junwoo stirs from sleep and discovers a note left by his family, which states they had to depart suddenly but provided him with money for groceries. Junwoo, however, opts to play online video games for his stream with friends instead of heading to the market. Their session is cut short when another player insists he watch the news, claiming a major event is unfolding. The moment Junwoo switches on the television, the program is overridden by an emergency broadcast signal, leading to a news reporter announcing the onset of an apocalypse. An emergency alert flashes on Junwoo's phone just before he glances out his window, where a gruesome spectacle unfolds before him. The city has been overrun by zombies relentlessly pursuing panicked humans fleeing in every direction. The streets are engulfed in pandemonium, with vehicles repeatedly colliding and erupting in small explosions. A young girl cries for her mother, and upon being found, the child begins to devour her. Junwoo can discern sounds from the corridor, confirming that the chaos and violence have also infiltrated his building. When he cracks open his front door, his neighbor Sang-chul barges in, pleading to be allowed to stay because his apartment has been taken over by his now zombified brother. Junwoo attempts to force him out, but Sang-chul resists and obstructs the doorway. Ultimately, Junwoo relents, permitting him to use the bathroom on the condition that he leaves immediately after. A television report then informs Junwoo that people are transforming due to a rapidly spreading infection. The symptoms include aggressive outbursts and bleeding from the eyes, culminating in cannibalism. Junwoo hastily grabs a knife and aims it at Sang-chul as he emerges from the bathroom, having noticed a scratch on his hand. Sang-chul insists he is unharmed, but just then his eyes redden and he begins to convulse as his veins darken. With a sudden snarl, he lunges at Junwoo, who successfully shoves him back and ejects him from the apartment. After a brief struggle with an arm thrust through the door, Junwoo manages to secure the lock. Peeking through the peephole, he witnesses a large zombie assault Sang-chul and drag him off. Blood now begins to seep into the apartment from under the door. Following this, Junwoo barricades his entrance by shoving his refrigerator against it. His attempts to contact his family are futile. An automated operator message informs him that the call cannot be connected. He is relieved to receive a text from his mother confirming their safety, though they are unable to return. She urges him to remain indoors and to stay alive. On the news, a reporter advises that citizens should have a 60-day supply of food and water, prompting Junwoo to lament his decision not to go grocery shopping. He begins to ration his provisions and affixes a post-it note with the words, "You must survive," to a family photograph. The following morning, a professor on television clarifies that the zombies are the result of a mutated virus affecting the brain's right hemisphere. Junwoo is still unable to make phone calls, but observes numerous social media posts from people inquiring about their loved ones, sharing their addresses under the hashtag #alive. In a bid for rescue, Junwoo photographs himself with a sign displaying his address, uploading it with the hashtag #ItMustSurvive. He also views a video of a man dangling from a high-rise window, using a selfie stick to stream his attempt to find a better signal, which ends abruptly with his fall. The TV report mentions that newly infected individuals remain asymptomatic for several minutes before their transformation. Junwoo deploys his drone to survey the other apartments in his complex, discovering that nearly all are occupied by zombies. An accidental phone call to his father drains the battery, forcing the drone to return. He then seeks distraction in an online game, but the internet connection fails. That evening, a car alarm outside rouses Junwoo. Looking from his window, he sees a police officer firing at her fellow officers, who have all turned into zombies. She unfortunately expends all her ammunition, and as she tries to reload, the zombies overwhelm her, biting her repeatedly before dragging her toward another street teeming with more of the undead. Junwoo's shouts to create a diversion only momentarily pause the zombies before they resume feasting on the officer. Suddenly, the large zombie from the previous day begins to batter his door, eventually dislodging the refrigerator and forcing it open. Junwoo rushes to push back but lacks the strength, so he flees to the balcony and climbs over the side. When the zombie pursues, it tumbles over the railing and plummets to the ground, while Junwoo hangs on safely. He can see the horde from earlier and observes that the police officer has now transformed as well. He later reinforces his door, saddened to find that the zombie's intrusion destroyed most of his food. That night, he records a video for his followers, articulating his profound terror. On the seventh day, Junwoo starts consuming his father's liquor and covers his windows with colored paper to avoid being seen. The news reports that the infection spreads only through contact with blood, meaning one can remain safe by avoiding bites and stab wounds. The zombies gain enhanced strength and sensory perception. Some can even perform routine human tasks like opening doors or mimicking their former professions. After watching an enticing advertisement, Junwoo consumes a bowl of ramen, realizing only afterward that the post-it note indicated it was his final meal. In a fit of frustration, he spills his water bottle and goes to the sink for more, only to find the water supply to the entire apartment has been cut off. He resorts to licking the few drops from the table. On day 10, Junwoo films another video, venting his exasperation with the official advice to simply wait at home. He is desperate to escape, but is trapped by the zombies outside. He recalls an emergency app with a radio feature that requires an audio jack for an antenna, but he only has wireless earbuds. By day 15, Junwoo is dancing around his apartment as a coping mechanism. He then hears a noise and is momentarily overjoyed to see his family returning, but this happiness is fleeting as he recognizes it's a hallucination, triggering a breakdown. He collapses, devoid of hope, until a voice message startles him. He can make out his mother's voice telling him to stay put, but heavy static obscures the rest. Mimicking the man from the video, he stands on his balcony railing with a selfie stick, listening to the message as zombies below wait for him to fall. The recording tragically ends with the sounds of his family being attacked by a zombie, suggesting they are gone. This final blow causes Junwoo to snap. He begins to smash everything in his living room, but this fails to quell his rage. He ventures outside and bludgeons a zombie to death with a golf club. As he challenges more to appear, he looks around a corner and sees the zombified Sang-chul. One zombie doesn't frighten him, but his shouting has attracted an entire horde. He dashes to the elevator and pries open the doors, only to be met by more zombies pouring out. Terrified, Junwoo flees and finds a hiding spot just in time. Once the horde passes, he starts back toward his apartment. A new, sightless zombie appears, so Junwoo waits for it to pass before hurrying inside. The sound of his door locking alerts the zombies, who gather outside. On the 20th day, Junwoo hears explosions and rushes to the window to see the city being bombed. Believing the end has come, he records a short video with only the words "hello" and "goodbye" before preparing to hang himself. As he awaits his fate, a laser beam shines into his apartment, pointing to the word "no" on a sign. Junwoo struggles free from the rope and follows the laser as it spells out the sentence, "Don't be a moron." Looking across the way, he sees that Yubin has been observing him from her apartment with binoculars. They use hand signals to arrange a meeting at 7. A glimpse into Yubin's apartment shows she is highly organized with a stock of survival gear. She has even rigged a booby trap at her door and waters her houseplant. The next day, Junwoo oversleeps, waking at 11. Yubin, seeing him, takes pity and greets him anyway. Through gestures and their phones, they exchange names and brief messages. A noise interrupts Yubin, so she signals they will meet again at 7. She then grabs her axe and turns to confront a zombie caught in her trap. After a brief moment of steeling herself, she kills it. That night, it rains, and both Junwoo and Yubin place pots outside to collect water. Yubin also sets her plant out. Looking at Junwoo's building, she observes that the 8th floor appears to be unoccupied. The next morning, Junwoo is up early, but weak from hunger. Yubin notices and attempts to throw a rope attached to a ball to his balcony, but it falls short. Junwoo sends his drone over with a rope, and once it is secured on both ends, Yubin sends across a bag of food with a note advising him to eat slowly. Just then, Junwoo sees a zombified firefighter has grabbed the ball and is pulling on the rope. The table on Yubin's end is dragged across her apartment, striking and knocking her unconscious. With the table now wedged against her railing, the firefighter begins to climb the rope. Junwoo hurls empty bottles at him, but they all miss. He then flies the drone near the firefighter, attempting to knock him off, even managing to graze his cheek. The zombie swats at the drone, forcing Junwoo into a series of careful maneuvers. When zombies begin to pound on his door, he is momentarily distracted and the drone plummets, but he recovers control at the last second. The firefighter, however, manages to seize and destroy the drone. Before he can continue climbing, Yubin regains consciousness and severs his hand, causing him to fall. As Yubin examines her bruises in the mirror, Junwoo flashes a message on his phone. Stay strong. Sometime later, with food supplies dwindling again, Junwoo reminds himself that he must endure for his family. He wraps his feet and covers his head before leaving his apartment in the dead of night. The corridors are littered with bodies, including Sang-chul's. Junwoo quietly takes his keys, mindful of a nearby zombie. He enters Sang-chul's apartment and gathers food from the refrigerator, along with headphones, a jacket, and a pair of walkie-talkies. He then notices a shape on the bed and pulls back the covers to reveal a dead woman. At that moment, Sang-chul's zombified brother attacks, tackling him. Junwoo uses the dead woman's body as a shield, enabling him to roll free and escape. The zombie gives chase, but Junwoo slows it down by throwing a metal bar at it and locks the door behind him, ensuring a safe return to his own apartment. After a quick meal, Junwoo snips the headphone wires to use the jack as a radio antenna, but the app remains non-functional. He sends the bag back to Yubin containing a walkie-talkie and some of the food he acquired. They talk for a while, offering mutual support, and Yubin admits she had also contemplated ending her life. For lunch, they prepare noodles simultaneously, simulating a shared meal. They spend the afternoon conversing, and Yubin reveals a fear of heights stemming from a childhood climbing accident. Their talk is interrupted by a sound they mistake for rain. Looking outside, they see every zombie in the vicinity running in unison. As the infected storm their buildings, the survivors drop to the floor to remain silent. Yubin, however, accidentally knocks over a shelf, and the sound draws the zombies' attention. Terrified, she believes she is finished, but Junwoo, recalling that the units are connected, calls her neighbor's landline. The ringing phone diverts the zombies from her door. Realizing their floors are no longer safe, Yubin tells Junwoo about the vacant apartment on the 8th floor, and they agree to rendezvous there. Junwoo wants to devise a plan, but Yubin instead uses her table and a rope to rappel from her window to the ground. The zombies immediately converge on her. She demonstrates remarkable agility, either outrunning them or fending them off with her axe. She even uses car doors as weapons. As she nears the other building, she stumbles upon and picks up the dead police officer's gun. A zombie pounces on her, but before it can bite, Junwoo strikes it with his golf club. Now a team, they fight their way through the undead toward the building, using abandoned cars for cover. Once inside, they shut the door and scramble into an elevator just as the zombies shatter the glass entrance. They reach the 8th floor and begin searching for an unlocked door. A sudden noise reveals that this floor is also infested. Yubin sprints to find an open apartment while Junwoo barricades the hallway with nearby objects to stall the pursuit. At that moment, a door opens, and a masked man emerges. He pulls Yubin into his apartment and then hurls a gas canister at the zombies, allowing Junwoo to run inside as well. After the man secures the door, Yubin expresses her suspicion, as this apartment was supposed to be empty. The man, however, is welcoming, sharing his food and water. He also delivers incredible news. His high-floor location occasionally picks up a radio signal, and he has learned that a rescue team is on its way. Their joy is cut short when Junwoo suddenly collapses. The man had drugged the water. Yubin, having taken only a small sip, is merely dizzy. The man still overpowers her, ties her hands, and drags her to another room, locking her in with his zombified wife. Bloodstains on the walls suggest the wife has already consumed their baby. The man pulls a rope from outside, releasing his wife, explaining he only wants to feed her so she can survive as he has. Just then, Junwoo awakens and points the gun at the man, pleading with him to stop. The man ignores him and drops the rope, forcing Junwoo to dive and catch it. While the man searches for a knife, Yubin struggles with the zombie, whose pulling strength causes Junwoo to lose his grip. He rushes to the door but cannot open it, and the man shoves him aside. Yubin presses a baby blanket to the wife's face, and the sudden silence worries the men. When the man finally opens the door, Yubin shoves his wife onto him. the zombie bites her husband, who embraces her and whispers, "I love you." Before he can turn, Yubin shoots them both. The gunshots attract the horde on the street, which begins to flood the building. Yubin hands the weapon to Junwoo and asks him to end it for them, but he initially refuses. She persuades him by saying they should die as humans rather than be eaten by zombies. A tearful Junwoo prepares to shoot when they hear the sound of approaching rescue helicopters. Now resolved to live, the pair throws another gas canister down the hall and shoves past a few zombies to reach the stairwell. A large group of zombies quickly pursues them and grabs Yubin. She fights back with her axe while Junwoo uses a bicycle to obstruct the path, allowing her to escape the pileup. Junwoo urges her to go to the roof while he holds them off. Yubin races upstairs but can no longer see the helicopters. After a great struggle, Junwoo shoves the zombies down a few steps and follows her, barricading the roof door with ladders. Realizing the choppers are gone, he screams, "We're still alive!" as they both weep. Suddenly, the horde breaks through the door. Junwoo opens fire but kills only a few before his ammunition is depleted. Mercifully, a helicopter appears, and its soldiers provide enough covering fire to keep the zombies at bay as Junwoo and Yubin are lifted to safety. As the helicopter flies away from the city, Junwoo's phone regains signal, and messages from his family confirm they are alive and well. Gazing at the distant city, Junwoo thinks of all the survivor posts he saw online and imagines his own "I must survive" tag changing to "alive." Remember to subscribe and activate notifications to stay updated with more content like this. We appreciate you tuning in.